I wrong for refusing to pay for my husband's family to go on vacation with us and then leaving without him? I am a 45-year-old female. I share 4 beautiful children, 23, 20, 17, 14, with my husband, male 49. We've been together for nearly 30 years and married for 24. We always take a big family vacation every summer. Due to COVID, that was put on a hiatus. Usually he pays for his parents and vice versa. Together, we pay for our children. One of his brothers needed help, so my husband decided to cover him and his family. My husband retired a couple of years ago. We've always had separate accounts and a joint account. He has always been an avid hunter and fisherman. We are not rich, but we do live comfortably. I managed our finances to get us to this point. Now, when he retired, he started managing his money because I didn't agree with his irrational purchases. He recently invested a large portion of his savings into a large hunting tract, citing it was a steal he couldn't turn down. Mind you, we live on a large property where the hunting game is in abundance. I didn't understand the need to buy more acreage. Maybe it's a hunting thing. I reminded him that our trip was coming up and that he should have waited to make the purchase, since to cover his brother and his family of 6, plus his parents, would be expensive. He assured me that he had it covered. I come home to a pretty boat in our driveway. I don't know a thing about boats, but all I saw was money. My husband receives a nice pension each month, but a percentage of it goes to our joint account and the rest to his savings. I calculated the land, and finally learning about the price of the boat, I knew he couldn't possibly have enough to cover the trip, which included our kids as well. So I asked him how he was planning on paying. He said he had it covered. Time rolls around for us to book everything. He mentions that he noticed I had a significant amount of money in my personal account and he was wondering if I could pay for the entire trip and he would pay me back his half. I told him no. He was aware of this trip and ignored it. My husband hates owing anybody and therefore would find a reason why he shouldn't have to pay me back, which is a con artist move to me. I proposed he sign an agreement to repay me with interest if he didn't pay me back in a set amount of time. We had a huge argument about it and he ended up leaving. I called and texted, no response. I received nasty texts from his mom and his sisters about how I was treating him. Therefore, I booked my family and I was even kind enough to purchase his ticket, though I hadn't seen or heard from him in over 2 weeks. The moment we left for vacation, the harassing calls and texts started. I turned my phone off and enjoyed my vacation. I came home to a nasty letter and his wedding ring stating that he wouldn't be returning until I apologized to him and his family for how I treated them. I'm not apologizing, but I am wondering, am I wrong for not paying and suggesting him paying me back? I don't think you're wrong. I think he was over splurging and he was buying stuff he couldn't afford, so I get it. But I don't know. I'm not married. I don't know how to deal with this shit. Am I wrong for calling my best friend dumb for marrying for love? I, 27 female, am in a very stable relationship with my fiance, 29 female. Oh, whoa, double female. Hold on, gotta do it again. It took me off guard. I, 27 female, am in a very stable relationship with my fiance, 29 female, for around 4 years, and we are planning on getting engaged eventually and then marrying. My best friend Chrissy, 27 female, has been with her own fiance since they were 20. They only got engaged this year, and it was kind of weird how it took him so long to propose since he seemed to be financially stable and all. Throughout the years, I asked Chrissy why her fiance hadn't proposed yet, and she kept insisting it was not just the right time, but she never said the reason why, just that it wasn't the right time. Eventually, he proposed in the beginning of 2022, and they're planning their wedding for next year. They decided to plan their engagement party during the summertime because due to busy schedules, they couldn't do it earlier. So their engagement party was this past Saturday, and her fiance made a speech dedicated to her and mentioned pretty much the reasons they didn't get engaged sooner, and I couldn't help but pity my friend. So the reasons were that he didn't have a stable job for the first few years of their relationship and only jumped from position to position from Walmart to Target, etc. He hadn't finished his degree yet, so he had no higher education. He got his degree in 2019 and only then was able to get a proper job. He bragged and also thanked Chrissy for never giving up on him and growing with him, and how they helped each other form their amazing personalities and achievements, and how no matter what the future holds, he'll never forget. Aw, this is sweet. Why are you hating on her? My fiance and I felt some type of way about it. Why? Some friends of mine and Chrissy agreed how Chrissy basically stayed with a broke man and waited 7 years, and we don't think that's something praiseworthy but pity-worthy. That's fucked up. Why would you say that? She was only 20. What? Of course he's broke at 20. As friends, we decided to explain to her our perspective of how we think it was ridiculous that she had to almost reach 30 to move on with her life and that man when someone else could provide what she needed much sooner. Ew, you guys are not nice. Chrissy always said how she wanted marriage and kids, and it's sad that she had to wait this long for this man to get his act together and she didn't know her worth. She said she loves him and he's an amazing partner and wouldn't break up with him over his misfortunes, and what matters is that they love each other. Okay, Chrissy's a real one. Why are you guys hating on her? I don't understand. I told her it's dumb how she's marrying for love and not for stability, and how she's basically wasted herself for love, and how the first issue should be raised when he was working at Walmart and Target back to back. You cannot hate on someone working at Walmart and Target. Like, I don't understand. Sure, stability is important. I agree on that. But I think when you hit a certain age, when you're past like your mid-20s, like 25 and above, and you're dating someone new at that age, that's when financial stability and stuff is important. If you're not doing shit with your life at that point, what were you doing for the past 8 years, 5, 6 years? This guy was working his ass off since he was 20. He got his degree when he was 24, if I'm doing the math correctly. I don't understand the problem. She called us all materialistic in classes and said she doesn't care if she struggles financially as long as she struggles with the right person who will value her emotions and listen to her. She said we are miserable bitches who will find no happiness in life and are very shallow. Could we be the assholes for criticizing her this way? Yeah, you are.
Am I the asshole for refusing to put my fiance on the house title after he kept handing me empty pens as a prank? Disclaimer, this is not my story. I, female 34, have been with my fiance, male 37, for 3 years. We're getting married before the end of this year and recently moved in the house that I inherited from my mom. The house is in my name and it took a lot of talking and convincing from him to have his name on the title as well. There's part of me that doesn't think this is a good idea, at least not right now, maybe after we're married. But I decided to go ahead and put his name on the title so he could start contributing towards mortgage and more and lighten my burden a little bit. We've made appointments and decided on which form of ownership we were basing this on. When it was time for me to sign the deed, my fiance stopped me and gave me a pin saying this pin was his lucky pin and told me to use it to sign the deed. I took it and tried to sign, but turns out it was empty. He was like, "Oh, I must have forgotten," while laughing, then pulled out his other lucky pin. Am I the asshole for refusing to put my fiance on the house title after he kept handing me empty pins as a prank? Disclaimer, this is not my story. He was like, "Oh, I must have forgotten," while laughing, then pulled out his other lucky pin. I took it and tried to sign, and that one was empty too. After seeing how he was laughing, I figured he was messing with me, but he swore he wasn't and pulled out another one of his lucky pins. I tried that one too, and it was empty. He started laughing, and I felt humiliated, especially with how the gentleman next to him was staring. I got pissed and asked him what that was about, and he said it was a prank. I said, "Really, did you really think this was a time for a prank?" He was like, "It's alright, you can use a real pen now." I pushed the paper away and said, "You know what, never mind, because I no longer want you on the deed." He lost it and said we had a deal and I can't back out of it just like that, and that it was a stupid joke that I took too seriously. We had an argument and I refused to sign the deed, at least not then and there. At home, he said I delayed the process because he already gave me a real pen and all I had to do was sign the paper. Am I the asshole for telling my wife she needs to find another job? Disclaimer, this is not my story. I, 26 male, and my wife, 24 female, have been married for 4 years. During those 4 years, she had the same job, which requires her to be away Friday to Sunday, so she leaves early on Friday and returns 4 to 5 p.m. on Sunday. Occasionally, it would be leaving on Saturday and returning Sunday. She also has to work sometimes on public holidays. I work full-time and get a little bit above minimum wage and tips. So our bills are split 60 for her and 40 for me. While I find myself struggling with money and having to borrow from the joint bank account, my wife has never had this problem. I know she's getting paid more than I do as she works for a high-profile client, but I'm not sure by how much more. She also wouldn't tell me exactly what she's doing. All I know is that it's connected to her degree and she's not an escort or anything like that. The reason she can't tell me is because she signed a contract. Am I the asshole for telling my wife she needs to find another job? Disclaimer, this is not my story. The reason she won't tell me what she did is because she signed a contract and it's highly confidential, so she's not allowed to go into details. She does chores around our house, but she doesn't cook. Instead, she orders these pre-made healthy meals and then you heat them up yourself for takeaway. While I'm home, if she hasn't ordered yet, she'll order for me too. So most of the day while I'm working, she's either in the house chilling or shopping or in the gym. Over the years, I got annoyed with this and asked her to find another job so she has something to do while I'm working instead of wasting her day. She told me she's not wasting her day but relaxing and her job pays her enough so she can afford the lifestyle she wants. I said it's not fair to me as I come home tired while she's done nothing all day. She said I could find another job or a different job and I'm an asshole for wanting her to find another job because I feel tired when I come home from work when she has a job she loves. She's now not talking to me.